Well, hello. It has been 2 weeks and 1 day since the last video. To be honest with you, a lot has come up in the last 2 weeks, and I needed some time to let my temper cool down a little bit after what happened at the end of the last video, and it continued after the video was shut off, by the way. So it's been a minute. There are no tumblers running right now, none. I just shut off the dual 3-pound. Those rocks have been going for 2 weeks. I didn't get a chance to deal with them last week. So just as a, I had mentioned in a previous video that I had a problem with the drains backing up through my sewer line coming up in the floor drain. So last weekend I rented an excavator. My dad ran it and we dug up my front yard. I've been working on that. So I am beat, I am tired, and I just really haven't had a chance to get down here and deal with the tumblers. I do have these are some Apache Tears. They were in the vibratory and they have come out and they're all right. I'd give it for a first attempt, I did okay. So to get to the elephant in the room, I don't intend to talk about HP pretty much anymore. I don't want to. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Okay? If you look up there, the silver thing, that's the 12-pound tumbler. As far as I'm concerned, it's staying there. I threw the barrel away. Okay? The barrel, the lid, it's all gone. It's trash. And that's what it is. It's trash. Okay? Last week I got the new nuts. I put them on, and before I even ended the video, I had a huge mess to clean up. After I ended the video, I put one of the brass nuts back on, hoping that it had worn itself enough that there would be a bigger gap. And within an hour, I had another huge mess to clean up. I'm not cleaning up any more messes from them. Okay? A big part of me wants to just sell that stinking thing, but I would feel like a used car salesman, like I was ripping somebody off, and I won't do that. So for the time being, I'm going to leave it up there as possibly a backup if something would go wrong with my Lortone. I know I could use the Lortone barrel on that machine. Why? So why am I doing this? Okay, I have obviously a relatively small YouTube channel. It is a very specific YouTube channel. The people that watch my videos are the people that are looking to buy machines. I can't recommend HP right now. I can't. I'm not saying that 2 years from now maybe they're going to figure this out. Maybe they're going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But right now, if you want to tumble rocks, you don't want that tumbler. If you want to clean up messes, then yeah, that's the tumbler for you. I will say the tumbler I just turned off is a dual 3-pound tumbler, and I have not had major issues with that one. Okay, so I guess maybe if you're in the market for a dual 3-pound tumbler, that might be an acceptable risk. But I would not. I spent over $300 on that 12-pound tumbler, and it's sitting on a stinking shelf. That's what it. Because I'm sick of cleaning up mess, and I just noticed today I've got grit on my floor because that's where the barrel was laying until I threw it away yesterday. Trash went out today, so it's gone. All that said, the president of HP found my videos. I've interacted with them on Facebook. I did not say I have a YouTube channel. I did not say you should. That's not what this channel's for. Okay, I hate doing this. That's why I want to be done with it. Okay, but he did reach out to me, and he had evidently watched a couple of my videos because he was talking about when I weighed the 3-pound barrels, and according to him, part of this problem is inconsistency of material from their suppliers. Okay, the difference in weight of the barrels was a difference in the density of the rubber. Now, honestly, I think he may have gotten it backwards with that one. See, I'm not sure exactly what he watched, because there have been 2 different videos where I weighed things, and I wasn't surprised by the 3-pound barrels. The really flimsy one was the one that doesn't have the baffles in it, but according to him, there's a difference in the density of the rubber between the 2 barrels as well, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, the one I was surprised was the later video when I weighed the new gasket, and it was even heavier than the Lortone gasket. But come to find out, it could be that that particular gasket doesn't fit the barrel. I had suspected this and I had not said it. I don't think the problem with the 12-pound barrel, I don't think the main problem was the nuts. I think it was the lids. Okay. I mentioned to him that I had not mentioned this in a video yet. The first time this thing blew up on me, which is the very first time I used it last November, okay, when I cleaned it up and I put everything back, in my mind, I was blaming myself. I'm thinking I just forgot to tighten it down, but I made sure I tightened it down and tightened it down good. And when I turned it hard, now I'm talking hand tightening, I did not take a wrench to it, I know better than that. Okay, when I turned it hard, it felt like the inner lid moved. Okay, so even with the outer lid on, the gasket on, it didn't have a tight enough fit to even hold it still. And I'm telling you, I have tightened the Lortones down tighter than that. Okay, and so in the back of my mind, I kind of have thought that might be part of the issue. But in all honesty, I ran it 7 or 8 more times and I never had another blowout until after I messed up that gasket and I got the new gaskets. Someone commented on the last video that the problem is not the nuts, it's the gasket, they don't fit. Okay, so the new gaskets that were sent to me evidently don't fit as well or don't fit right, and I don't know if that's more inconsistency in their sourcing. Okay, and that is kind of what John hinted at when he emailed me. Okay, and my question, and I don't know the answer to this, did they send me a thicker gasket that they knew would not fit, knowing that that was going to be the result of it? Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I sent basically a huge email to him, and I explained all this because when he said he had watched the video and he was talking about the 3-pound barrels, I was like, you watched the wrong video. You need to watch the latest one where it blew open 2 more times. Okay, and he is, give him credit, the response I got from him was that they are very aware of the issue with the bigger barrels. He says the type of seal on barrel requires good control of all 4 pieces, the barrel, the inner lid, the gasket, and the outer lid. And he's seen that his rubber component supplier has problems in their process which affects density, but we are also seeing on the top edge of the barrel that affects size too. So we are working on solving this, even if I have to start molding the parts in-house if that's what it takes. I'm sorry for the problems and making a mess of your shop with the lids coming off, but I do hope you give us a chance to fix it, because I won't let up until we do. I think I know where you... I mentioned something else in there, and I'm not really going to talk about that, regarding the engines they put in their machines. Here's the thing. I said to him, the durability of the engine in the machine, I can't comment on that because I've only been able to run that machine for 9 weeks. Now, I have run the 3-pound machine pretty much all spring and summer, and to this point, knock on wood, it's fine. Okay, so I did see something that kind of hinted that DC motors are not good for continuous operation. I don't know anything about that kind of thing. My thought was it absolutely from what my experience and what I've heard, they put off way less heat. And I always thought heat was the biggest enemy of a continuously running machine. But I don't know, there could be other factors involved, so I'm not really going to get into that. I can't comment on how good that engine is or isn't, because the one I've not been able to run, the other one I have, and I haven't run it. You know, it's not like my Lortones that I've used pretty much 24/7 for three seasons a year. I don't do it in the winter, and they're still running fine. Okay, I am still right now debating whether or not I'm going to shelve the 3-pound HP as well. I might, just because right now I don't even want to look at it. Okay, and I know that's horrible, but that is the reality. So that is where we are on the tumblers. It is my intent not to make any more videos with HP in the title. Okay, that's not why I have this channel. That's not what I got into this for. You know, so that would be my intent. I'm going to say this: if I hear from John again and he wants to rebut anything I've said today, or if he has anything he wants to add, if it's small, I'll put it in the comments on this video. If it's bigger, then I'll make another short video. I seriously, I do hope they fix this. I don't expect that they're going to send me a whole new barrel, but to be honest with you, none of the parts that I've had with that barrel worked. So whatever they come up with, I don't trust that the inconsistencies don't affect the barrels as well. And I was thinking about this. I thought, well, you know what? If I got more parts, I could take the stinking thing outside and run it there for a while just to see if I could trust it. But no, I don't see me doing that. Okay, and I really doubt that they're going to send me a whole new barrel and lid and inner lid and outer lid and gasket. I really don't see that happening. So if I ever do drag that thing down off the shelf, it'll probably be with a Lortone barrel. So that is that. Well, you can't make this stuff up. I finished that video, and to be honest with you, I want to watch it myself just to make sure I said everything the way I want to say it. I got my point across the best way I could, and then I shut the camera off and I took the 2 HP barrels, 3-pound barrels outside to clean those rocks off, and still debating whether or not I was going to continue to use them. Well, that decision was made for me because both of them, the gaskets are shot. They made it significantly longer than the 12-pound made it, but that's still pretty pathetic. I will say this: they didn't leak, so I have no mess over there whatsoever. I had no idea that the gaskets were shot, but the 12-pound didn't leak either when the gasket was shot. And when I've had other barrels get holes in the gaskets, I've not had them actually like get slurry on the ground outside the barrel. The only other thing that I can think of off the top of my head that I want to mention in this video, because like I said, from this point forward I don't want to talk about that crap. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Okay. I had several people tell me that I should get like a tote or a silicone container and put the barrel in, put the machine inside that, and that way if the barrel pops open, okay, it's contained, and that makes sense. That does make sense. Okay, now my response was the stinking thing shouldn't be coming open anyway. Okay, realistically that's true, but here's my thought: if you've got some sort of container and it's not much bigger than the actual tumbler, and the barrel comes open and all that water and slurry goes in, Okay, on my shelf, that stuff just ran off the shelf and onto the floor and down through the boards onto all the stuff below. So like right now I have all these totes stacked up right here that I still need to clean some of them off because of all that crap falling on them twice. Okay, but if you do that and it's within a containment, then it's going to stay there and the level of it's going to come up. How high does it come up before it hits the electronics inside the tumbler, and could that cause a fire or an issue like that? That would be something I would be a little nervous about. Sounds kind of weird. I'd be afraid to contain it because I expect it to come open. The Lortone, I've never done that because I don't expect it to come open, and it never has. Okay, so that is something HP needs to think about. You get somebody that puts a containment around the tumbler and it comes open, and I'm not taking that stinking machine down and tearing it open just to see how deep the slurry would have to be. And I don't know, if it's bigger than the tumbler, maybe that barrel doesn't hold enough to get a level high enough to hit the electronics in the machine. Maybe it doesn't. I will say that it got all over the two rollers in my machine, and where the lid hits the rollers, there's damage from, I think, from the 60 grit on it before I caught it. Because the first time I caught it right away, the second time I didn't catch it immediately. I came down here about an hour after I started it up and I found the mess. So it ran, yeah, maybe it ran 5 minutes, maybe it ran 50 minutes with the barrel just laying there and half the rocks and crap laying on my shelf. Okay, so final thoughts. I mean, I guess watch the company, watch the reviews, watch what people say, and maybe they will fix this. John does seem to genuinely want to make the product that I want him to make, and I hope he does. I hope he does, but it's not there now. It's not anywhere close. So right now I'm going to cross my fingers that Covington is not going to run Lortone down the tubes. I'm going to buy probably 2 new barrels, Lortone barrels, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm not even going to bother notifying them about this because why? I don't see the point, and I'm not going to use those barrels anymore. Alright, so this should be it for this video. I'm going to probably put out another video talking about some good stuff. Alright.